Hi guys, this is Lalana. Thanks for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about this theme that I keep hearing coming round and round again in my coaching calls and in the comments too as well, and I see it from time to time. And so I just wanted to make this a little bit more clear for those of you who may still be a little bit confused by this or may still be using certain terminology in regard to your awakening, in regard to your own consciousness, in regard to the twin flame dynamic in general. And that is that you are not trying to get into alignment with your soul. You are not trying to get into alignment with your consciousness. You are not trying to get into alignment with your higher self, with God, source, creation. You are that. You are all of it. I've done a lot of videos on this as well. You're it. This is it. You are your consciousness. You are your soul. You are your higher self, right? You are God's source creation. All that is having a human experience. There is no separation between you and that, right? None whatsoever. So when we're moving through separation consciousness and all the paradigms that run it, it's very natural in the beginning stages of this path and the midway stages of this path to really be feeling our way through what we're experiencing as a twin flame, going through the awakening process and all of these things. And so terminology does tend to fail in regard to what we're actually experiencing until we start to get, a better handle on what's actually happening, the process that we're actually going through, what a spiritual awakening actually is, what consciousness actually is, and the fact that you are that. So it's fine that, in those beginning, middle stages that it's kind of like you're still feeling your way through that, having that awareness. But at some point, it's going to ground, and at some point, it needs to ground, and you need to have that higher awareness that there is no separation between you and you. There's no separation between you and anything. There's certainly no separation between you and source, God, creation, soul, higher self, consciousness. You are consciousness experiencing and expressing itself through your avatar, through my avatar, through the plants, through the table, through the chair, through everything that is around me in this moment. Everything that's around you in this moment is consciousness expressing itself. You are that. There is no separation whatsoever. So when we're talking about trying, first of all, trying is a word that our separation ego construct uses, right? Because it feels like it needs to strive, it needs to try, it needs to get to certain places, all of those sort of things. And that's all fine and good because consciousness has been expressing and experiencing itself as ego in order to experience separation, right? Again, there is no separation in any of these things. There is no hierarchy, right? There is no good or bad. There isn't any of those things. There are only expressions and experiences that consciousness is having at any and every given moment. But it's having the awareness that as you are going through a spiritual awakening, the spiritual awakening is consciousness breaking itself free from having a separation consciousness experience. And so as you're moving back into oneness, back into the awareness of who and what you are, you're moving back into higher states of consciousness, into union, right? Into union within and without, as above, so below, all of those sort of things. The expression also needs to shift with the awareness that you're starting to have. And part of that is losing the terminology, dropping the terminology that is saying, I am trying to get alignment. I am trying to get in alignment with my soul. Or as long as I am close to in alignment with my higher self. All of those things are still you telling you that you are separate from that, right? It's you telling yourself that separation exists. And that's not any different than you telling yourself that there's separation between you and the twin. You and the twin are one. but we are experiencing separation as two. So just have the awareness of that, because the more you start to have the awareness and the more you're reminding yourself, I am consciousness having an experience through Lalana, or whatever your guys' names are, right? You are consciousness having an experience through the avatar as your names, right? That's what you are. You are God source creation having a human experience through the expression that consciousness is having as your name and your name and your name. I've said this in several of my videos. So consciousness isn't trying to find alignment with itself, right? You are the higher self. You are it. The higher self, who is you, is having an expression and an experience of separation. And now it is breaking itself free from that. It is awakening out of that. It doesn't need to have that experience anymore. So it is awakening. So the higher self, who is you, right, is not trying to find alignment with itself. It's remembering itself through the reflection of the twin, through the reflection of others around it. It's using its reflection to awaken itself out of the dream, out of the illusion of separation. But it's not trying to get in alignment with itself. That would mean that it thought that it was separate from self, which again is fine because that's the experience you've been having, but it's not the experience that you're having as you're awakening. The experience that you're having as you're awakening is you remembering, I am that. I am that. I am my higher self having a human experience. I am consciousness having a human experience. I am consciousness awakening itself out of the paradigm of separation. I'm not trying to get into alignment with anything. I am all of it, right? I am that. Just that awareness and you just moving from that over and over again will help you to really see the truth of what is trying to express itself through you. I don't like to use the word trying, but what is expressing itself through you during this awakening process, right? That is what is happening. So you're not trying to get in alignment with soul. You're not trying to get in alignment with higher self or consciousness or God or source or any of those things. You are that. You are all of it. Having an experience, an awakening experience to remind you so that you remember that you are all of it. You have always been union. You have always been love. You have always been oneness. You have never been broken. You have never been damaged. You were experiencing brokenness and damage and separation. And now you, as consciousness, is awakening to remember, I am oneness, I am whole, I am completion, I am love, I am peace, I am unity, I am all that is. Okay? I hope you guys have an awesome day.